Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. We're back here. It's sunny out. It's beautiful. So I hope everybody's planning a great day. It is a holiday weekend. So I hope you have some great plans for relaxing or spending time with family or whatever it is that you love to do. So I'm Angel here this morning. Hope some of you will be able to join me. Uh, Lead with Abundance Coaching and Mastiff Home Buyers, introducing Intuitive Wealth Leaders. Intuitive Wealth Leaders is a community of individuals who want to build on internal and external wealth. So I, through my coaching, want to bring as much value as possible to the community and be able to share a lot of internal wealth building ideas, tools, techniques. And so today we're going to talk about our lizard brain. So if you've ever heard of that, you've probably maybe heard about your reptilian brain. If you went through, took college classes, you probably learned about brain development and the different parts of your brain and how they do different things. And so, our and I am not technical at all, so I cannot tell you all of the different the medical terms and whatnot. But I can say that your lizard brain is representative of your place right back here in your brain, and it impacts or handles our fight or flight response. So you all know what the fight or flight response is. Are you going to stand up and fight, or are you going to run with fear away? And so the fight or flight response really is an animal instinct. It was set up and put ingrained in us and other animals because we really needed to protect ourselves from lots of things uh, that might be harmful to us. And so the our brains were set up to ultimately protect us from things that were going to harm us. So the fight and flight response was, geared to protection. And so in the instinct that we, need to run away, uh, we that kicks in and moves us away. So the thing is that today in business, our fight or flight response still kicks in, but we really don't always need it. So, when we have a fear of something, a fear, a fear of rejection, a fear of, going to network, a fear of making phone calls, whatever those fears are, our response or our lizard brain kicks in and says, okay, we fear, so we need to run. And it tells us to run. And so we don't face our fears and we run away. And it really keeps us held back in a way that makes us not be able to be successful because we're continuing to let that fear response or that lizard brain control what we're doing. And instead, knowing that none of these things are going to harm you in many ways. I mean, maybe you might make a phone call and somebody might yell at you and it might make you feel bad, but it's not going to harm you. It's not going to make you sick. You're not going to die from it. So it's not really that big of a deal. And so when you're thinking about those things that you fear, you have to ask yourself, am I going to die from this? Is it going to kill me if I do this? If I get rejected, if I make that offer and I'm rejected, is it going to kill me? If I make that phone call and they yell at me or hang up on me, is it going to kill me? And just reframe your mind to think through. No, it's not going to kill you. It's not really going to harm you. And so go ahead and do it. So don't let your lizard brain control what it is that you want to do. And I don't think that we really identify or understand all of the times that our lizard brain gets in our way and keeps us from the things that we want to do. So whatever the fear is of, I'm afraid of heights, so I may avoid doing things that I might otherwise enjoy because I'm too afraid of heights. So, like thinking about driving in mountains, that scares me. I don't like doing that. I mean, I've done it before. I don't think I could actually have the wheel, but it just scares me. It scares me. But, what do I get to experience if I actually make it to the top of that mountain? There are great things up there, great sights to see, great experiences. And because of my fear, I prevent myself from doing that. So there are other things, that fear of heights is going to prevent me from doing. And I probably may continue to not do those things because of my fear of heights. But there are a lot of things that I can ultimately talk myself through and reframe my brain to do some of those things in little small steps. So, maybe I go part way up the mountain. If I'm afraid to make the phone calls, maybe I commit to making one, just one thing. And maybe I make my list and then I make the one phone call and I take a break, and then I come back and I make the other phone call and I take a break. And so doing things in small snippets or small pieces helps us get past that fear, because the fear then is released because our body and our brain starts to understand that this really isn't something that I need to be afraid of. And so that doesn't mean that your reptilian or your lizard brain doesn't try to take over, but it may. It always is there, but you can control it. And once you start to understand when that is, oh, that's my lizard brain, there are things that you can do to ultimately make things better and easier for yourself. So, uh, recognize your lizard brain, recognize when it's something that maybe is not necessary to be afraid of, and ultimately uh, try to do it anyways. It's not you're not going to die from it, and it's not going to show you any harm. So our reptilian or lizard brain, does try to control things. So we need to learn to control it. And so some things that you can do is reframing. You know, talk through it with yourself. Talk through it. Talk about how this is not going to be so bad. Think about the outcome in a positive way. So if I'm afraid to make that phone call and I run scenarios in my brain about the call going well, it makes it easier to pick it up and make that call. Or if I continue to see the outcome of whatever it is that I'm facing as something that is a great experience or it goes well, then that will help me subdue that lizard brain and go forward with the things that I need to be able to do. So I usually take a deep breath and think about what it is that I'm trying to achieve, and I think about the outcome if I don't do it, and then I just jump. Not really, but push the button, make the phone call. Um, it's hard, and you have to also be prepared for. You're thinking it while it's ringing. Oh my gosh, what if they answer? What if they answer? Oh, what if they don't answer? And they don't answer, and you get a voicemail, and you're like, oh, good. I got voicemail. But then you got to leave a voicemail, and what do you say? Well, having some ideas and scripts for that is helpful, to know what to say and what to leave, and kind of thinking through that ahead of time and planning. So the things that I did, in one of the things that a lot of people are afraid of, and their lizard brain will like kick in big time, is presentations. And so what I did was I learned to practice my presentation. So I would lay out a PowerPoint, and put all of the information and content that I wanted in the PowerPoint, and work on the design. And it was in corporate. So I had a team that helped me with marketing and design of things. And so I got the content in there that I wanted. And then I not only had the slide, but I always used the notes section. So I laid out the notes section in a way that I actually typed out what it was that I was going to say, what it was that I wanted to say about that particular slide. So I wasn't reading the slides. I actually had talking points that were put together ahead of time and well thought out. And then I would practice. I would practice going through it and each slide, and I would ultimately just sit and read and talk through those talking points like I was in the moment, and really get experience with saying those words, and going through that routine. And that helped a lot. So then when I was in front of people, I had already practiced it. So practice helped me do it more succinctly, and in a way that was better presentable. So that was how I really preparing and planning for those conversations, especially if you have a hard conversation or a presentation like I'm talking about. You want to plan for them, because it will make things go much, much better. If you just walk in to the situation cold and you don't know really how it's going to go, that makes it so much harder. So, for those of you who are in real estate and are, talking to people, having an idea of what it is that you want to say going in is critical. And having that kind of scenario going through in your mind, and thinking about what you're going to say, and thinking about what their objections are going to be, and how you can respond to those objections, are ways that you make this a lot easier. So I'm going to wrap up here and say that I hope that, knowing, if you didn't know before, that you have a lizard brain, that you know now, and you know that that lizard brain is going to be something that you need to contend with, and you need to learn to tame, and need to understand when it kicks in, and need to know when to tame it, and how to do that. And that's going to be different for each person. So if there are things that you feel that you're needing to get through, and you're just not sure how to get there, that's what I'm here for. So I can help you with that. Just reach out and let me know. As a coach, my goals are your goals. So I'm not here to teach you, how to be a real estate investor, or how to do really anything. My job as a coach is to help you with whatever problem it is that you want to solve. So, whatever point you're at, to get you to the point where you want to be, and helping you design that path to get there, and overcome the barriers, real or not, that are there for you. So we do that as a team. It's not, me giving you answers. It's really you coming up with those on your own, through with a supportive process of me helping you identify and opening up your mind to things that maybe you hadn't thought of on your own. So, uh, again, reach out if you ever need anything, and take a moment to think about how your lizard brain has maybe impacted you and things that you haven't done because of your lizard brain. And rethink maybe if you could go back and do it over, if there is a way that you can reduce your lizard brain and go ahead and move forward with that. Or now that you know that that's what it was, that it was a lizard brain, it's not really that you're not skilled or you don't know what you're doing. It really is your internal innate sense of survival. And you really don't need that to kick in when it comes to business. So I am wrapping up again, Angel, here, Intuitive Wealth Leaders. I hope that you will join me every Saturday here at 10 a.m. and get to know me and get to know our community. Invite others to the community as well. And I hope that you all have a great weekend, and I will see you next Saturday.